Okay, Rue, so I'm thinking we could do like a design challenge where we mash up some iconic red carpet looks from the last couple decades, because that's pretty topical, right? I think the fans would like that. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, yes? No outdated references or share or anything? You're right. What am I right about? We do need share. Wagon wheel 1-2-C. Let's get share in there, bitch. There is so much trickery and tomfoolery on Drag Race that whenever a very clear storyline is not followed through, I always wonder why. Hi, hello everyone, my name is Jer, and if it were so easy, then why don't you do it? We are talking about Drag Race Season 18, Episode 4. This was an interesting week. I liked the bulk of the challenge. Take these iconic red carpet looks of yesterday, blend them together, and give them a modern, fresh take. Cool idea, right? I think a lot of these combinations could have been weird together, like pastrami pizza with pickles and mustard. Doesn't sound like it's good, but it's a banger. I was left a bit confused on the general outcome of this episode. I'm so used to Drag Race production being as subtle as Priscilla's makeup was in Italia 1. Stray alert, that when they have a very clear and obvious play and ignore it, I'm like, huh? Are you sure you didn't want to do anything with that? And that is specifically about Athena and Brier, who did have story that's been building up, and it went nowhere, man. This week, Brier is the target of frustration in the workroom, taking up a lot of storyline time. Mia is frustrated that Mandy is gone and thinks that Mandy should have stayed over her.
She's got a point.
They had a little tiff in the workroom earlier that day, and I understand these frustrations about these perceived double standards. But my problem is that we're not seeing these things happen. I always feel a bit weird about these he said, she said conversations that happen off camera that are drug into the edit. Give me some messy hot mics like the Boulets did to Dahlia. Give me some shaky camera work from an iPhone at craft services from some PA who's not supposed to be filming. Blair Witch Project style. I want on TV what has been documented and recorded. Otherwise, if it's not been filmed, then why are we as an audience being shown it or told to care about it? That's just me. Brier also has tension with Athena due to their own complex relationship that on the show seems like they both are at each other's throats all the time. But the way that Brier's talking about it on TikTok makes it seem like they're great friends and they understand exactly where each other's coming from. So I'm left confused on what's true and what's not. Additionally, Athena is experiencing this drifting away from her drag granddaughter Juicy. They're not quite clicking in the way that they used to off the show. The dynamic is a little different here, and for whatever reason the edit is not showing these moments where they are connecting with each other. I could kind of immediately tell that Brier was the one who was gonna go home based on the edit this week, but I was sideswiped that they didn't use Athena to do it. Take a shot every time that I bring this up because it's gonna happen a lot. There is no mini challenge once again this week. Season 18 hates a mini challenge. And you know what? So do I. Rue asks the queens to pair up with the person in the room that they consider their bestie. Juicy picks Brier because they've been getting along on the show pretty well. Discord gets with Jane. Mikey gets with Nene. Sierra is paired with Kenya. Mia and Vita, leaving Darlene and Athena. Rue tells the queens that the red carpet is not just a runway, but a battlefield. And there is just one boss on this entire battlefield, and that is La Roche, raising up one upset and disgusted eyebrow while scooping back the unit behind one ear. And if you can defeat that final boss, you can defeat anyone, mama. The maxi challenge is to create original show-stopping looks, which is not a lot of parameters in my opinion, because you can kind of judge however you want on that. Show-stopping has kind of lost its meaning on Drag Race, I fear, because why were so many of these looks just nice costumes? When I think show-stopping, I think end of the collection. The last piece that's meant to make your audience member go, regardless of my opinions on the matter, they will be judged as duos. One high, one low. I would love to abolish these challenges on Drag Race because inevitably there's always a duo that is really strong, like the clear and obvious best in the night, and they should both equally be winners. Or maybe they just did so good it'd be impossible to choose which one was the best. And then inevitably there will be a booger bottom too, where both of them should be lip syncing, but instead someone gets pushed through to the next episode like a Veronica Green. It's a little bit of an oversized tool that I'm a bit bored by on the show, and it's not always fair, but Drag Race is not fair. I continually want it to be fair, knowing that it's not. Like, this is the definition of insanity, people. I go in every episode thinking, that's not fair, that's not fair, that's not fair. But I know it's not fair. It's never been fair. Juicy won last week, so she gets to choose the number that she wants first. Oh, so now there's an advantage. Oh, okay. I will say, I think it would have been a sickening advantage if Juicy had gotten to choose a costume to swap with at the very end of it. Like, after everyone's chosen, then she can choose to take one of them and swap out her look with. I'm curious if she would have stuck with it or would have swapped for anything else, and how that would have changed up the dynamic in the rest of the room. The idea is to take both of these iconic pieces and translate them through yourself. I don't know if everyone branded themselves very well, but I won't be talking about the branding. Juicy gets Lil Nas X's 2020 Grammy look, this iconic pink cowboy. Brier then gets Rihanna's 2015 Met Gala look. I remember this, it was delicious. Pink cowboy and yellow nighttime luxury I think work really well together. These are exciting colors, and I think the two of them did a good job collectively with these looks. Juicy is out first, looking so good. She says she was inspired by Grace Jones, and you can definitely see that inspiration. I love that long train and how she pulled a bit more heavily from, I think, the Rihanna influence. I do, however, see the Lil Nas of it all in the shoulder work. I think she translated the look well. Michelle said something about the fluff and how it looked cheapish. I think it looks Muppety, so on that end, I kind of agree with what Michelle said. It probably could have been doubled up, given a second layer to make it more voluminous, but also she may not have had enough material to do so. My biggest problem is that when she lifts up the cape, you can see that the skirt is sort of like not really a full skirt. It cuts off like a V shape. Like there wasn't either enough fabric to go all the way around, or she just didn't think she needed it. It's a slay regardless. Brier is next wearing this very cute and well-constructed bodysuit. I think it is a little bit over-embellished. And by a little, I mean a lot. I see the Lil Nas inspiration from this in the stud work, but it's not as meticulous and it kind of loses some of that intentionality. I do love how she tried to create the leather work by color blocking on the chest here. It's definitely, in my opinion, a little more Lil Nas than it is Rihanna, but I don't have a problem with that. The biggest problem is that there are design issues, and designing is very different than constructing, because it is constructed well. It's not designed well. It's a soft slay, because I still kind of like it. Story-wise, layers of Brier are being pulled back, and we're understanding why she's such a prickly character. Alert! You got that edit? It's curtains, Diva Doll. It is curtains. You are out of here. And I could tell, I clocked it that she was going home right from this moment. She has tension this week with two key players, but ties off the tension with one of them almost immediately, ending whatever potential storyline that had by dragging it out a bit more. Meanwhile, she was paired directly with Juicy, someone who Athena was feeling like there was distance between. Even the previously on edit showed us that Athena and Brier are not gelling. So it was beyond strange to me that they went nowhere with their story and it had no resolution. We move on. Discord, it gets the very well-known Cher 1986 Oscars look. Here's the problem. Is this an iconic look? Absolutely. Has it been done a bazillion times on Drag Race? Yes. I can immediately think Chad Michaels. Max did it for the tape look in season 7. We have seen iterations of this costume many, many, many times. How do you reinvent a look that has been perceived often? I think this look was kind of always at a disadvantage on a design level, because how do you top something that is so good? And let's face it, who would wanna top Coco? Sorry. Rue doing Discord's walk at this point of the edit was diabolical. And then Jane gets Sarah Paulson's Ocean's 8 premiere look. Nothing says red carpet like piss yellow, right? No shade, but Sarah Paulson has such a styling problem. And I understand that she's just a lesbian who likes what she likes, but I wish that she could like something better. This totally looks like Trinity the Tuck's All-Stars entrance look. It's iconic for the wrong reasons. God, it's ugly. She has an interesting style, let's say that. Black and piss yellow, I think could be super draggy, but it also could be incredibly tacky. Discord is first of this group. It's a bit literal in my opinion. Taking the almost identical top of the original look and utilizing that as the base, I think was an interesting idea, but the boobs are droopy. I'm so here for people expressing their bodies and their drag the way they want to. I like a fantasy, the big, small, big. But if you're not gonna do it, that's fine. If you are not a padded type of queen, or if you're not a body queen or a breast queen, then you need to adjust the shape of those breasts to accommodate your lack of them. Because those boob cup shapes exist for a reason. They're there to accentuate a body part that is there. If you are not going to have those, then that needs to be recontextualized. And that wasn't done here, and they were low. And then the yellow piping on those dangly panels, meh, didn't care for that. I hate the Mardi Gras beads on the side slits. They're very much reading. Girl, I had to use these. It's a chop. Jane is next. Oh, why is this so pussy? The length is a bit awkward, I will say, but I like the overall construction of the look quite a bit. It's a little paratrooper or base jumper, you know, those flying squirrel jumpsuits, but make it a puss dress. I love how she color blocked this. The biggest problem for me are that the colors are rough, but that's not her fault. She worked well with them and I think it looks elegant. It's a slay. Mikey gets JLo's 2000s Grammys look. This Versace look we've also seen a couple of times on Drag Race. How do you reimagine something like this? It is at a strategic disadvantage style-wise because there's already so much automatic recall of what that dress is supposed to look like. And then Nene gets Nicki's 2000s Grammys look. Too bad she's a whack-ass MAGA. I think these colors are probably the worst together. And this was always gonna be a hard one to sell. Imagine how sleek the animal print would have been with the Cher look. Mikey is out first of this group. There is a lot going on, yeah? These colors do not work, and I feel like she highlighted every element of that. But here's the thing, to be completely fair, if Drag Race gave me a bunch of like actual I would wear all of it. I would put every single thing on there. Remember when they gave Adore spaghetti? I would just toaster strudel a bunch of hot gooey glue and then slap a bunch of spaghetti on it and just let it fall off of me as I'm walking down the runway, slowly dripping off, and I point right at RuPaul and say, "You did this to me." And when the judges said, "Why do you look awful on the runway?" I would say, that lady owns this show and that lady gave me this box of garbage, so I put it on my body. If you got a problem, call the manager. Oop, she's right next to you. So it can't be helped that she has a bunch of garbage materials. She probably could have edited a bit better because the biggest flaw of this garment is that it highlights the problematic materials. This is constructed well. The textures and textiles are just far too much. Maybe it could have been narrowed down a little more and it would have been sleeker. It's just that side of tacky that I'm like, yes, but also I don't know. I don't want to chop it. It's a slay, I guess. It's not her fault. Nene Coco is looking amazing. It is so sexy in its simplicity. She tailored a fantastic bodysuit with a great point of view. I adore this jungle green that is draping, almost peekabooing to the animal print in a way that gives that sexiness of the original JLo look, but it's not as gaudy. Sorry, that look is gaudy. This is a total slay. Sierra Miss gets Lady Gaga's 2010's VMA's meat dress. And then Kenya got Justin and Britney's 2001 VMA denim look. We love denim. Two looks to pull from as your source of inspiration could either be a big help or a big hindrance, because which of the two do you pull from? I think these colors were low-key a match made in heaven, and the textiles they gave them to manifest this were also kind of perfect. Sierra Mist is out first, looking stunner. I have been standing this girl every single week, and I feel like her time is coming to a close because she comes out here giving them everything, and they're like, woo! Like the most unenthused reactions. And I don't get it. This is brilliant. That meat twine is super fun. I love that avant-garde 80s fascinator that she created. This red meat texture that it looked like from the construction element that she made her own textile, which is also incredibly impressive. It's a slay, man. It's so good. Kenya Pleaser is next. I like the shape of it, but its relationship with the original look is practically non-existent. The fringe is a bit bizarre with this dress. It's sort of, let's go to the rodeo and bet daddy's money. It's giving Mistress's 8-ball look. I had all this, so I had to use it. So here you go, I guess. It's not good. I don't really have a lot more to say about this. It's a chop. Big mistake. Mia got Katy Perry's 2019 Met Gala look, and then Vita got Lil Kim's 1999 VMAs look. We've also seen this once before on Drag Race, if not twice. White and lavender are fantastic color matches made in heaven, so this was kind of the perfect grouping, especially for someone like Vita, who does celebrity costume recreation. This was her challenge. Mia is first from this group. It is so Lil Kim. And it's kind of the same problem that I have with Discords, is that it was just a little too literal, I fear. Is this original look iconic? Yes. One titty kinda needed to be out to pay homage to the original look. And I fear by default that sort of takes you out of the creativity and brings it to maybe far too referential. Even La Roche said that he wanted to see someone with their titty out for this look. That puts you at kind of a disadvantage to everybody else. You must be more plugged in with what the original look was in order for this to be effective. Does that make sense? So maybe this concept is at a direct disadvantage to everyone else? Look-wise, it is a bit messy. That lavender snake in the front was really bad and I didn't connect with that. There's not much else to say. It looks a lot like the original. I don't see how it transformed. It's a chop, I'm so sorry. Next is Vita. Stop! This is high horror pageantry at its finest. It's sexy as hell. The cut is perfection. Those textiles used for the base garment was the smartest choice that she could have made for this look. I love that high collar, this booby window, the curtain cape. Mama, she's giving me a realized version of a chandelier that was transformed from Date Everything or something. And her choices reflect an immense thoughtfulness when it comes to designing and styling. This is such a massive slay. I had no doubt in my mind that she was gonna turn it and burn it. And then she made this and I was like, well, yes. And then Darlene gets Kim K's 2013 Met Gala, the one where she was pregnant. Am I pregnante? Not this nasty look being included. This is the booger fool of the entire group. When Rue asked who shot the couch, I screamed, because it does look like someone just went up to the couch and went. And Athena gets Zendaya's Dune 2 premiere look. Darlene is out first of this group looking so I love the retro futurism of this look, the sleek gown, those metallic ruffled sleeves. It's giving exactly what needs to be given. That floral print could have been the most hideous thing in the entire world, but she made it fashion and she made it slay. Boots down. And the incorporation of that chrome made me wet. Wet, I say. I love this look. It is a super slay. I am endlessly confused why she did not win this one. And then Athena Diana's last of the entire night. But I hate this look so much. I was baffled that they loved it more than they liked Darlene's look. Like, her shoes were not that bad. Was that the only parameter why Darlene lost this? That unlined, uneven, asymmetrical cape is driving me banana sandwich. The disco cut of that bodice was such a head scratcher. Didn't quite correlate tremendously with the original looks. I dislike that it's just a shiny aluminum column dress with a mermaid skirt. And the styling is so bold. Like, you look madame, but the other person that's next to you is giving couture. What are we doing here? Chop, 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 chop. While some of these materials definitely lend themselves to being combined, others were very clearly not built to be the primary reference, rather perhaps a color storyline. Like, I'm imagining the denim looks with the Sarah Paulson look. Those would never work, ever, 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 ever. Or the Lil Kim look with the Cher look. You quite literally could not put those together because both looks are so iconic on their own and they're kind of at direct odds with each other. Cher's glam and put togetherness while also being semi-nude with the overt sexuality and ferocity of Lil Kim's. There are so many variables here, so it frustrates me that they still went through with this one is top, top, one is bottom storyline, because we would be able to see as the audience that one duo was very clearly set up. And I want Drag Race to beat these allegations that it's all a ploy. I want that. I live on the idea of that. It's not gonna happen, but I want it. During critiques, Brier passes the out. Vita whispering off to the side, it's a show, it's a show. So wild to me. The girlies thought that Turing was also faking her faint back in Philippines 1. But listen, Linda, listen, Linda. I don't know what's true and what's not. I'm not making implications. But if you're going to fake pass out, girl, do it at the top of the critique so that you can skip out on standing on that runway. Especially if you know that everyone is about to get critiqued. You're probably about to be in for the longest day of your life. Probably at least 2.5 to 3 hours you're gonna be standing up there in heels, listening to everybody get talked to. I would if I knew Drag Race was gonna send me home. I agreed with pretty much all the tops of the week except for Athena's. That was confusing to me because Darlene was very clearly better, and there was a strong tee up of Athena and Brier's storyline. Like, this was T-ball. The ball was right here. It was unmoving on a stick. All they had to do was touch it. It didn't even have to get knocked out of the park. They just had to connect. Diva. And I also thought it was super fierce that Law gathered up Michelle to be like, listen, I was there. I know what I was talking about with these shoes. Let's not go terribly off book. And then flip that unit right on back straight into this look is booger. The shoes are not the problem. Let's not pretend that they are. There are so many more problems. I love Law on this panel. Brier, Discord, and Kenya were Rue's chosen bottom 3. And Vita is called as the winner. I agree with Vita winning. I overall agree with the bottoms. I still think Athena should have been down there. They tell Discord that they don't like the way that she walks, but then Rue tells her to keep doing it because she thinks it's funny. But then Michelle tells her to clean it up. So we're getting a conflicting storyline with her. Kenya and Brier are called as the bottom 2 and have to lip sync to Lights, Camera, Action by Kylie Minogue. I think this deep into Drag Race's overall lore has kind of just left me not usually vibing with the lip syncs. I'm kind of just sitting there watching, enjoying that drag is on TV, listening for a new song, seeing if I like it, maybe add one to my library. But the entire energy of this performance was very, okay, I'm waiting for my move to happen. 1, 2, 3. All right, death drop. Like, it was all just a little too pre-planned. And what I'm noticing a lot of these queens coming onto the show is that they're not just feeling the music. I understand that Drag Race is stressful and sometimes you're like deer in the headlights and you're just zoned in on not going home, but it's like they're not present. We're not getting a Latrice holding on to her belly saying, you make me feel like a natural woman while talking to her unborn baby. We're not getting these incredibly fierce moments where people are feeling the lip sync so powerfully, like in that Lady Camden lip sync where it zooms out and it's like her and Bosco and they're just everything. Like, we're not really getting that lately. However, Kenya's confessional was what worked me out fiercely. Boom, the pussy did touch the ground. I live for this diva, she's so charismatic. Rue calls Kenya as the safe queen. I do agree it was correct, but it should have been Athena sending home Brier. And again, I'm so used to Drag Race manufacturing everything that when there's a very easy and clear setup and they don't take it, I'm always like, what is happening here? Brier's exit line telling Rue, I don't care what the other girls say about you, I think you're cool, was probably one of the most iconic exit lines we've had in a very long time. Next up is a confusing challenge. It's the talent show, but with only 11? Mama, what is this? I am confusion. They just could not stand to see another Asian drag queen knock it out of the park in the talent show and deliver excellence, could they? Could they? Why are we doing this at such an odd time? I think if we're not going to do the talent show in week 1, do it week 2, even though I don't like that. Exclude only one queen like sometimes they do in España. If you're gonna do a late game talent show, do it like in top 5 like they did in Down Under 1. But 5 episodes in? Girl, just do it as the finale at this point. This is very weird. And also Rada Queen is back. I was so grateful that we hadn't had gimmicks yet. And then what happens? The old Mimi. What did y'all think about this episode? I quite liked the idea of this challenge and I would love to see more things like this in the same way that I liked the Betsy Johnson runway last year. I like taking something that is grounded in reality and using that as a point of inspiration for a challenge. I think that's fun and creative. I was just confused by some of the choices that were made this week. Other than that, I think it was solid, and I generally agree with most everything that happened. So I will give flowers to Drag Race where they are deserved. This was a good week. I have a very distinct feeling that a different producer was in charge of this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you specifically to all of my Extravaganza Extra members. I appreciate y'all supporting this channel. I will see y'all on the flip.